Hello. Today we're going to be doing circumference or girth measurements. The reason you want to be doing these is because it gives you a good measurement of your client's body fat percentage without being quite as uncomfortable as some of the others, such as a skin fold test. You don't really want to use this on somebody who's very, very thin or has been doing who has a lot of body mass, has been doing a lot of strength training, because it can kind of throw off the measurements. So with this test, you want to do each measurement a few times just to make sure you get the right number, and you want to make sure that each measurement is within 5 millimeters of each other. If they're not, just retake it and try to get to that number. When you're taping, you want to make sure that the tape is against their skin, but you don't want to be pressing it so hard that it disrupts the skin. You'll get a warped reading that way. You want to make sure you do all your measurements on the right side of the body. Just keep it all on the same side, makes it easier, faster. Okay, so right here I have the Gulick spring-loaded handle. You basically just want to make sure this handle is extended to the same mark each time. If you don't have one of these, just a regular one, it's the same thing, just not too tight, not too loose. So there are many different areas that you want to measure, and then with each different one, there are different equations to help determine body fat percentage. These are usually within 2.5 to 4% within the actual body fat percentage. So it's not quite as accurate as some of the others, but like I said, it's a little more comfortable and not as discomforting. Alright, so first we're going to start with the abdomen. So I need my client to stand upright. So I'm going to take a horizontal measure. Go ahead and lift your shirt up a little bit. At the superior part of the iliac crest. Most of the time, but not always, the abdomen will be in line with the umbilicus. So normally you want to do each one 2 to 3 times, cycle through for time for the video. I'm just going to do it maybe once or twice for each one. Okay. So next we're going to do the arm circumference. Okay, so what I'm going to need you to do is stand here, arms at your side, palms facing your side, just relax there. Okay, so you take a horizontal measure midway between the acromion process, which is a part of the collarbone, and the olecranon process, which is where the ulna meets the humerus. So you want that about midway between there. Okay. So next we're going to be doing the hips and the buttocks. So for this one, just be standing erect with your feet together. There you go. So So the general guideline for this is just to take it at the maximal circumference of the legs. One more time, just to be sure. Okay, so next we're going to do the calf, feet apart, standing erect. You want your feet about 20 centimeters apart, that's fine right there. So for this one, again, you just, between the knee and the ankle, you just want to measure the maximal circumference. Now for the forearm, so this is just like the previous arm, kind of standing erect, arms to the side. You want your arm to be just facing out just a little bit, just so I can get to it. And again, between the elbow and the wrist, you just want to measure the maximal circumference. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to be doing the hips and thigh. So for this one, you want to be standing erect, feet about 10 centimeters apart. And you're going to measure this just below the gluteal fold. Go ahead and just turn toward me. Next we're going to be doing the mid-thigh. So standing, one foot up on the chair, you want your knee bent at a 90-degree angle, right side. Okay, so right here, you want to be testing, you want to be measuring between the inguinal crease, which is basically right where the leg meets the thigh or the pelvis, and the top of the patella. So last is the waist. So for this one, again, standing erect, feet slightly wide apart. You want your abs, you want to make sure their abdominals are relaxed. You're going to take this at the narrowest part of the torso. So the waist is particularly important because you're going to use it for a hip to waist ratio, which can determine how their body holds fat. People who tend to hold their fat higher on their hips and in their stomach tend to have more cardiovascular and pulmonary problems versus those who tend to hold it lower on their hips and thighs. So all that's pretty important. Next, after this lab, we're going to be doing skin folds.